WB17's Weather in the Classroom with Kirk Clyatt.
I remember when I was in school, sometimes I would think, what good is it? Why is it important that I learn, say, math? When I grew up, I found out if you want to predict the weather, you need to know math. The weather forecast is all about numbers, not just numbers like the highs and lows, but big, long, complicated math problems that take what we know about the weather now and try to figure out what Mother Nature is going to do next. These math problems are so big and complicated, there's no way your computer at home or school is powerful enough to figure them out. So big supercomputers that are owned by our national government near Washington are used. Why is it important to know the weather? Not just so you know how to dress for tomorrow, should you take an umbrella or bring suntan lotion, but you need to know if a really big storm is on the way. A storm that could do some real damage, like a hurricane or a tornado. And we also need to keep an eye on storms that aren't so big, like a summer afternoon thunderstorm. Did you know the temperature of a lightning bolt is hotter than the surface of the sun? You only need one to hit you to really ruin your day. So if you hear thunder, lightning is close enough to hit you, you need to be inside. Which is the most powerful storm, a hurricane or a tornado? Well, it all depends. If you're talking about the strongest winds, you're talking about tornadoes. A scientist named Ted Fujita came up with a scale that bears his name. As the number gets higher, the storm gets more intense, starting at an F0 and going all the way to an F5. Yes, it's true. In a storm that is an F5, the winds are so strong that cows can really fly, like in the movie Twister.
Cow, I gotta go, Julia. We got cows.
Thankfully, storms that intense are very rare and almost never happen in the Philadelphia area. When they do occur, it's mainly in the Midwest and Tornado Alley, places like North Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. Tornadoes may have the strongest winds, but the most powerful storm on Earth is the hurricane. Hurricanes can be hundreds of miles across. Just like tornadoes, the strength of a hurricane is measured on a 1 to 5 scale, the Saffir-Simpson scale.
The winds are well up above tropical storm force. According to my handheld anemometer, we're getting wind gusts close to hurricane force.
The higher the number, the stronger the storm. Here again, we're lucky in the Delaware Valley. While hurricanes can and do affect us, most of the time we don't get the full force of the storm. Most often, areas hardest hit by hurricanes are to our south. Did you know that hurricanes and typhoons are the exact same type of storm? The name just changes when you go across the international date line. Hurricanes are the only storm that get a name. Once the storm is strong enough to have winds of 39 miles an hour, it becomes a tropical storm, and it gets its name. There are 6 lists of names that are rotated. So in 2004, the first named storm will be Alex. It will also be the first named storm again in 2010. There is only one exception to this. If a storm is especially bad, its name is retired. Some of the names that will never be hurricanes again are Roxanne, Opal, Mitch, Hugo, Frederick, David, Bob, Andrew, and Agnes. Agnes was a storm that in 1972 caused big problems for Pennsylvania. 100 years ago, weathermen didn't have nearly the tools to use that we have today. Today, we can look at a picture of the weather over big parts of our planet using weather satellites, and we have powerful radars that not only tell us where it's raining or snowing, but also how fast a storm is moving and where a tornado may be forming, so we can get out the warning to take cover. But even today, we still use some of the same tools that they used 100 years ago. Tools such as the thermometer, barometer, and anemometer.